What's going on, everybody? My name is C4. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are finally moving the big boys from the FCS, the North Dakota State Bison, who have dominated the FCS for the better part of the last 15 seasons. So many people have been asking, when are they going to challenge themselves and move up to the FBS? Well, that is what we are going to do here today in our very first Team Builder College Football 25 Dynasty Rebuild. Sadly, before we get into year one of this rebuild, there are some severe limitations in terms of realism that are going to affect this that are completely out of my control. So I've gone with what I think is the best presentation of North Dakota State on the Team Builder site. I think they have the best jerseys, best helmets by far. However, the roster is a little too overpowered for my liking, right? You're looking at James Madison. They're probably the best recent success story of an FCS to FBS. They are a 74 overall. They have one FCS title, and they're a 1.5 star. So I'm like, all right, North Dakota State, they got 9 FCS titles over the last 13 years. They should probably be prestige-wise like a 2, 2.5, 3, somewhere in that range. Their base roster rating, if James Madison's a 74, they should probably be like 77, 78. I wanted to be a little bit of a challenge, but I didn't have any plan of a North Dakota State dynasty. We start as a 1-star because they are coming with a much bigger reputation than a 1-star. So the downside of Team Builder is that if you are downloading someone else's Team Builder, I have zero control over the roster rating. So this roster is way too overpowered. It's a bummer. It makes no sense. Why can't I? Why can't I modify them? But you know what I can modify? I can modify the players' names. But, okay, that sounds cool. Like, can you make the actual roster then? Can I go in and make the actual North Dakota State roster, which I'm willing to do, spend a couple hours, and get every single player right? No, because even though I can edit the players' names, I can't edit their stats. I can't edit their likeness. I can't edit their number. I can't edit their class, whether like a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. You essentially cannot edit the rosters on Team Builder site. That's the easiest way to put it. And I have zero idea why this limitation has been. I can't justify it. I can't even understand and comprehend why these limitations and restrictions are in place. So, unfortunately, I can't use the real North Dakota State rosters. If I could, I would. But at minimum, I can get the rating and the prestige exactly where we want it. Our 5 challenges for today's North Dakota State rebuild. Number 1 is we have to win the Mountain West Conference once. Number 2 is that we have to win it 3 times. So I could double fail this if we never achieve it, but I'm optimistic because, let's be honest, North Dakota State in real life jumped right in to the Mountain West. They'd be top 3 team, if not challenging for the championship right away. So I'd like to think by year 5, year 6, year 7 at the absolute worst, and that is some bad things go our way here in this rebuild, we'll be able to win 3, and once we win 3, we need to jump up into the Big 12 for that step up in competition. Number 3 is, I think it's fair to say, that this was FCS College Football 25. North Dakota State will be regarded as a 5-star prestige school. So we need to reach 5-star prestige here in the FBS. Number 4, shout out to Carson Wentz. I want to have at least one player that gets drafted in the first round. And lastly, at number 5, we got to win the national championship. So just some full transparency of how I'm trimming the roster that doesn't exist of real players, but just give you an idea, I'm getting rid of all the 90 rated players, a lot of the high 80s. I think we should keep a couple because I think that is reflective of North Dakota State, but along with the high 90s, I think the next set of players aren't necessarily the late junior and seniors that are like 83 to 86, 87. It's the freshmen that are almost 80 overall. There's no way these guys would ever land at North Dakota State. So we are getting rid of all of our pretty highly rated, unrealistic freshmen. So let's meet the roster. North Dakota State, our starting quarterback year 1 is going to be Stephen Bandy, the former 3-star out of Alabama. Accurate passer, 90 medium throw, 84 deep throw, has 93 throw power. Not much of a dual threat, so the offensive line is going to have to keep him upright. Our starting running back is John Zell Smith, the sophomore, 5'11", 200 pounds. Little bit of everything. Can catch the ball out of the backfield. Not bad in terms of hands. 91 carry, 89 elusiveness, score 84 ball carrier vision at 92 speed and 92 acceleration. North Dakota State loves to run the football. He's going to get plenty of touches. We only have 2 wide receivers that are above a 75 overall. One is Orion Dumars, 84. The junior has 84 route running, 89 hands, 92 in the elusiveness. Not freaky speed, but 91 speed, 93 acceleration, can get the job done. A little more athletic is Elijah Meredith, the sophomore 84, so a higher ceiling. Not as technically sound, but an outrageous 98 catching, 94 catching traffic, 88 spectacular catch, 93 agility, 92 speed, 96 acceleration. This guy is probably leaving in the transfer portal very soon, unless we can get immediate success here in year one. We have two 80-plus rated players on the offensive line, which I think reflects, you know, if a realistic North Dakota State roster, they have put O-linemen in the league, probably more so than any other position on the roster. Cesar Davis, the senior, 85 overall at left guard, is our highest rated lineman. So the upside, right tackle, Barry Abraham, sophomore. We got 85 pass block, 85 IQ, 82 footwork, 84 power, 91 run blocking. He's going to be a very good player, but another one, a little worried about the transfer portal. Pass rush is led by the 6'7 senior Samson Kemp, who is going to have to put a lot of QBs on their butts. 84 power, 88 in base power, 85 run stopping, 88 IQ. Might not have the most athleticism, but I think he has a great shot to lead our team in sacks here in year one. As run stuffers, we got Zachary Jenkins at defensive tackle, who honestly don't just want to pigeonhole him as a run stuffer. 88 power move. He is going to be able to get after the quarterback as well. I think North Dakota State, they dominate the line of scrimmage, both sides of the football. I think our roster accurately represents that with this jump to the FBS. This one is kind of crazy. I landed this guy in the transfer portal. Lawrence Dilworth, 87 out of Hawaii. He was 2-star. He was the #1 rated player. He was a 2-star in the portal. 87. He's pass rusher, hybrid type linebacker, whatever way you want to cut it. This one's on me. I do think, obviously, his awareness rating, that 95 IQ definitely is inflating his base rating a little bit. But, I mean, still, how the sausage is made of that 87, still pretty good. 82 power move. Got decent hit power, can tackle, has block shed, can pursue. Not bad. Good playmaker. Our corner room is garbage. Randall Forbes at 85 is the only player that's above a 76. But sophomore, so high upside like some of our players here. The former 4-star. We got good man coverage, solid hands, can play the run athletically as well. 94 speed, 92 acceleration at 6 feet tall. The one player, the one position I want to have a freak at, our best player, if it was going to line up, was safety. North Dakota State always has baller safeties. They have a safety on the roster last year that had 8 interceptions. So I want to at least keep a good one, and we kept the freakiest looking one here in Malik Prather, 6'4", 225, 88 overall, 91 IQ, 85 pass coverage, 89 in run support, can catch with that 83, so the interception should be high. Obviously, athletically, he's not going to be 99. We don't have Sean Taylor on our hands, but this is a big-time impact playmaker who should get a lot of turnovers, be it on the ground by forcing fumbles or through the air with interceptions. With all that being said and done, our roster finishes as an 80 overall. Now, when I was kind of thinking in my head where this team should all fall, I was thinking like the floor would be 76, the ceiling, absolute ceiling would be 80. Perfect range, I think, would be 77, 78. I believe our team was 79 before training camp, which brought us up to an 80. But I think at the end of the day, an 80 overall, 2.5-star starting point for North Dakota State is at worst in the exact area code that they would be if they actually made the move and say we're in college football 26 next season. So with that being said, let's get ready for year one of this 10-year rebuild and see if we can accomplish the dynasty level success that the North Dakota State Bison had at the FCS level and applied here in the FBS level. And their first game ever as a member of the FBS is against Wake Forest. A day before my birthday, August 30th. Let's hop in. Let's check out these unis. Let's start this with a dub. And lastly, before we hop in here on the sticks, the North Dakota State head coach in real life is a first-year head coach, former offensive coordinator from Wyoming, so it makes the most sense to rock with this playbook. Hopefully it is fun and awesome. All right, let's go. Opening drive. Fargo Dome is rocking. And we got some flex bone. All right. Just did the Hawaii rebuild of Army. Go check that out. Used to the playbook, so I'm kind of in the pocket there. I think while we have some flex bone here, we're going to have better passing numbers than what we did in the Army rebuild. I definitely feel like that's kind of a lowered ceiling. Well, there we go. First little passing first down. That was a lowered ceiling in the Army rebuild because we only were going to get so much production with that offense. And I feel like if you can mix some of that Army playbook with a more traditional pro offense, which is supposedly what this Wyoming one is, we might have a nice little healthy balance. Oh, middle of the field, tight end, had to do a little throw on the run. But a hell of an opening drive here from the Bison. I think we gotta, get the crowd, keep the crowd in it. Let's go for it here on 4th and 8. Gotta like Dumars, top of the screen. Wins on the inside, and there we go. Opening drive, touchdown. And the Fargo Dome is rocking. No. Oh, fall on it! Brutal. All right, and what was a good opening drive? It has all been terrible since then. 3rd and 30. We dial it up to Demers. What a grab! The stats. He passed the stats test when we were previewing the roster. He is going to be a freak. And that is just a sneak preview of what he could do. Hell of a ball by the QB as well. 60 yards. Perfect spiral. And I would hesitate to say the best upside wide receiver in the Mountain West coming down with a ridiculous grab. Go to Meredith again. Too easy. One-on-one matchup. Even if he's covered, he's one of those 50-50 guys. 50-50, it's more like 80-20. Oh. The big moment for a lot of these guys. A lot of pressure. Making the jump up and kind of seeing that here. Oh, Meredith, you are our only hope. We actually see a great ball here to Dumars. Move the chains. And even though we are down 6, we've spotted them. 2 fumbles that turn into touchdowns. It's not been we're overmatched. It's been dumb mistakes. Meredith, far side of the field. No time. Does Wake Forest just have the greatest D-line that I'm sleeping on? I know they got a couple dudes, but it feels like we're playing Georgia. Just massacred, man. Just massacred. Pocket doesn't exist to even stay in, let alone me have the nuts. Just try to... Let's see what happens here. We can just stand and bang in the pocket. Oh, it works. Let's go. All right. Maybe trust the guys a little bit. Score game, 2:36 to go. Would love to find a way to come back. There we go. And that's going to be a roughing the passer. Slant cheese to the running back out the backfield. And then there should be another 15 tacked onto it. Ooh. Ooh. We definitely don't have the athlete at quarterback to run these plays, but we'll keep trying. 3rd and 6. 4 down territory. Down 5. Trying to force feed our dog out there. 4th and 6. Game on the line here. Do we have a perfect start in the FBS or a crushing loss? Yep. Crushing loss. Let's be honest. We all knew what was going to happen there. I've already learned, this playbook really needs a mobile quarterback. Our quarterback is not mobile enough. So that is definitely a direction we're going to need to look for in recruiting. I need to get me one of them 90-plus speed guys. That's a bad start, man. Felt very overmatched on the line of scrimmage. Feel like our quarterback's not a great fit for this offense, which is kind of what happens when you just basically have an entirely generated team. But there's still enough talent to make this work. Wake Forest is no slouch, not an easy first opponent. But we got some work to do. So the good news is that at least in the eyes of the sim, better than me, Vandy with a 5-touchdown performance against Minnesota, which is one of the bigger games on our schedule. So you'd think we crushed them. However, it was an all-time classic loss. Double overtime thriller, 57-55. Brutal. 5 touchdowns for Vandy. You know, our running backs crushed it. Dumars kind of did it all. 2 touchdowns from Finney. We didn't get the ball to Meredith nearly enough, especially for how dynamic of a playmaker he is. Defense clearly did not make enough plays across the board. Sucks that we lost pretty much our 2 toughest games of the year, but maybe that's expected. Year 1. And to follow it up, the only 4-star we had a shot at, Vince Countess. We get hit with a deal breaker on playing style, which sucks because he looked like he was going to be a very good and a potential day 1 starter. Top, almost 100 player in the nation, a top 10 safety in the class. Brutal. Week 5 had a real good week of recruiting. Now that the 1 4-star's off the board, we got to kind of focus on our 3s. Got a couple gems mixed in there, and our 2 remaining players also still have us as their first school. Now all our attention pivots towards trying to get an athletic quarterback in the building. A simply disgusting stat line from Elijah Meredith. This is worth moving the webcam. Against UMass, we should beat up on UMass. All right, but 14, 147, and 3 touchdowns. Good God. Ooh, I think we might find what we're looking for. We got 2 options here. Leon Roland, 94 throw power, 85 short, 82 mid, 95 speed, 93 acceleration, 6'1", 205. Or we have Max Lasco has a gem, 93. So we lose 1 throw power. We gain short accuracy. We gain mid accuracy. We lose a little throw on the run. 95 speed. So they're very, very similar. Oof. I like, honestly, both these guys are legit. I mean, maybe we got so many points left. I try to get both of them. So in the same week that we crush Fresno State with a Player of the Week performance by Jonzel Smith, one of those freak quarterbacks commits to Fresno State. So we're down to 1. That's why you take a swing. And I mean, it was razor thin. This is why you go after both. I mean, maybe, you know, if my experience wasn't starting to gain a little bit here in Dynasty, I would have just picked 1. But I'm glad that we kind of mixed it up a little bit because we have a chance here to go all in on Roland, who might not be as finessed, but athletically is slightly better. And we also lost Gideon. Oh, God damn it. There we go. We get our quarterback of the future, Leon Roland. Unless he's like a 64 overall, and then those stats don't make sense. It doesn't line up. And in our first year, North Dakota State is going to have an opportunity to win the Mountain West against the UNLV Rebels. Man, I love it when a team can handle business in the sim. Oh my God. So the Mountain West gets an automatic bid to the playoffs. Okay. The reason why I applaud my team for winning in the sim is that is the most broken thing, in my opinion, in College Football 25 Dynasty. I think Dynasty is very fun. I'm having a blast with it, but it has its issues. And I think this game is certainly feeling from a lack of beta. I feel like if this game had a proper beta, a lot of like the tweak bugs that we're waiting for this first patch probably would have been addressed. But simming is brutal, man. Simming is very rough. It feels like, honestly, every game is a crapshoot. It's 50-50. When in reality, like looking at our schedule here, 1-11 Wyoming, like that for a competitive team like us with the Bison, who now we know is going to the College Football Playoff, that's an easy dub. Probably Colorado State Week 13 is a dub. Air Force is a dub. But the reality is, in the current state of College Football 25 sim, those tend to be sneaky upset losses more often than not, which is very frustrating. I'm proud of my team. They handled business, especially against UNLV. And I've seen like Mr. Hurricane, who I obviously regard as the GOAT of football franchise content. He kind of made a thing like these layup wins until the patch comes in. Maybe just force the wins. You know, maybe it's just because my content, sometimes that little spice of rage when I have a bullshit loss improves my content a little bit, so I don't necessarily want to force win anything like that. And you know what? I'm happy my team stood up to the task as we defeat UNLV 45-10 on the back of a 4-touchdown performance from Bandy, who that looks good, but the rushing and the amount of attempts, 1.5 yards per carry, that is exactly why, if that speedy freak quarterback that we got coming in, part of the freshman class, has a star or elite dev trait, has that immediate upside, Bandy might need a transfer. He might not be our future quarterback, especially while we have this freak of nature, Elijah Meredith. We end up getting 3 interceptions on the defensive side of the ball. We get an early check mark here in year 1 for winning the Mountain West. We get a kind of a third of a check mark because we had to win 3 to move up to the Big 12. It's a hot start, and hey, we're going into the college football playoffs. 0 expectations. Let's see if we can shock the world. I don't know if we win or lost yet, but we had a player of the week. Kayvon Jackson, 44 yards, 2 touchdowns against Ohio State. Unfortunately, we could not shock the world. A terrible start. Did nothing in the first half. Couldn't make up for it in the second half. As we fall to Ohio State. Bandy was respectable. Our run game, I mean, look at Jackson right there. Gadget plays. We did everything in our power. Meredith stood out, which again is terrifying for the transfer portal if anyone's looking. But look at that. Jackson, okay, keep an eye on this guy. 3 total, the hat trick. He was unstoppable. Defensively, we got 2 picks. We got a couple sacks. Hell yeah. I'll take, that's a pretty loss. For whatever silver lining that is, we did lose to the eventual champions as Ohio State and Georgia. All-time classic. Buckeyes get the dub. Our stats here, whoa. Whoa. Definitely not Army numbers that we saw in our last rebuild. Bandy goes 41 touchdowns, 12 picks, 7 rushing. But I mean, it's still not, we're not changing the scheme. I don't think that's something I want to do. I'm sick of that. And I know there's a chance that that's what Madden's going to turn into, where you got to use Cowboys, Kansas City Chiefs, whatever. If you want a competitive playbook. And I think the uniqueness of College Football 25 is all the different playbooks. And no matter how good, like, this is where you wish there was traits. I'll trade Bandy for, like, give me the next freak option quarterback, you know? Rushing numbers pretty good. Receiving, Meredith, monster. 82 catches, 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns. We'll be very lucky to keep him from the portal. Same with Dumars, unless he heads to the league. 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns. I mean, especially in, like, Dumars' case, we had that goal of getting a first-round pick. He returns. He's probably 91, 92, and I've seen those guys go in the first round fairly consistently. Jackson, who stood out in the not national championship, but our national championship game in the first round of the college football playoff. Really nice campaign as well for a true freshman. And the tight end eats here. Definitely something to keep an eye on. This is a blocking tight end. Imagine if we get like a good vertical threat, 600 yards and 6 touchdowns. Defensively, tackles, Alfonso Woods, the safety, leads his team 92 tackles, also had 3 picks, 11.5 sacks from Caleb Foley, the underclassman. So if he returns, a potential big bump up for him, the senior Tariq Barr, 15 tackles with 7 sacks. All right, really happy with these sim numbers. A lot better than what we were getting with Army. So our big-time players are expected to stay. We have a couple transfer portals. We have Woods, who was our leading tackler. He's staying. That was good. He was, low chance. We have Forbes, the sophomore corner. And Dilworth. You know what? I'll let Dilworth leave. Because, again, the roster's a little bit higher than what I wanted for our starting spot. So I'll pay the price for this second offseason of trying to still balance out where I think we're 80. Would have loved to be 77, 78 as a starting point. So we won't try to retain Dilworth. I will try Forbes, though. Do I try Dilworth? Guarantee. I feel like that's too good of a chance. I got to take that. You got to take that layup when it happens. I'll lose the 86 sophomore corner, which is a gigantic loss, but we'll take the guarantee because he pretty much was just daring me to ask him to come back because he wanted to. Oh, we were close to getting that first rounder. Davis Finney, 90 overall, goes in the second round. Caesar Davis, 89, so easily our 2 highest rated players on the offensive side of the ball. Go second and third round picks, which goes a long way in terms of upgrading our coaching tree, even though we don't get that first rounder, which is what you need to get the talent developer. Having some draft picks always goes a long way. Oh my God. Okay, this could be too good to be true. In that Wake Forest game, I was like, how are we getting dominated the line of scrimmage? Hardy had 3 sacks. 4-star. We are in his top 5. It's a long shot, but that'd be pretty cool. He's a freshman. I don't know how realistic it's going to be for us to land him. We're going all in. The guy that owned us in our L might jump ship. We're going to schedule a visit here for Hardy. We're going to get proximity to home, but we are in a foot race with Georgia, so my chances are probably not the best. Shit, we jump out to number 1. Come on. Hardy. Come on. No, it's not looking good. He would have popped up by now. Come on. DJ Porter was the number 1 corner in the portal. Fuck! God damn it! Damn it! Our first recruiting class at number 66. Feel like that's a reasonable start. Would have been nice to maybe get 1 or 2 4-stars. We had a couple opportunities at 1 or 2, so I feel like that's a really nice, realistic spot for North Dakota State to be. And hopefully we shave off a couple of those 3s and flip them to 4s, and we'll be top 50 before you know it. Now, dev trait-wise, if you're going to have 23 3-stars, some of these are gems, you're going to want a couple stars, maybe get an elite role. From the transfer portal, got a couple impacts, nothing too crazy. Star Dev on Obi. Love seeing that. Power Rusher, the JUCO transfer, 6'5", coming in. Big powerhouse. We got Star on Jose Rosales, the 3-star gem safety, which you love to see. There we go. Star on the gem corner, Nigel Carew, 5'11", at a Chesapeake, Virginia. Is that where that is? Again, not American, so anytime I say it, if it's butchered, is what it is. We got Sisk, a 3-star Star Dev. Unfortunately, amongst all of our 3-star gems, not one with an elite dev trait. In terms of a ratings boost, as I kind of move the roster around, we do utilize the fullback. So I'm going to move our heaviest running back to fullback, where he gets a 10-point overall increase. Now we're at the training results. Again, one of my complaints is like this is not a clean way, organized way to see it all, like the growth of your players, but we got gigantic growth here in linebacker Tuffy Lewis, the best on the team, now up to a 93 overall pass cover linebacker. Put his name into the potential players that could go in the first round and get us that check mark. Again, going back to the house rules, not every 5-star I'm going to take a swing at. Bradfield, 5-star. Top 10 player of the nation, the second height. He's not what I'm looking for. He's an improviser, which means he'll have okay. I want a freak. So with that, I'm going to look at someone more like Campanaro. The scrambler archetype is what's going to get us our ultimate dream quarterback, if he exists. So there you go. Not always going for the 5s, even if it fits within our house rules. But if we can continue the pipeline of freaky good running backs, I'll do that again. Ooh, we get it first instant commit. That is a top 10 tackle. Keon Barry, number 7 in the nation. It's been a minute. Didn't get one single instant commit when we were at Army, our last rebuild, or even Hawaii, 2 rebuilds before that. Handing down his senior campaign, a big 6-touchdown performance against Nevada as we continue our perfect start to the season here in year 3. Going into week 10, we sit here undefeated, the number 11 team in the nation, 8-0. Now, it might be tough to find a quality win, but we're 8-0, we're undefeated. You can only play who's scheduled, and maybe the argument can be made. UNLV week 10. The team that we had to beat year 1 for the Mountain West, they've been solid, is the toughest game remaining on what could potentially be a... every time I do this little part, it always ends up being an L, but it could be a potential undefeated regular season, which we've only hit one time before, way back in our very first Florida Gators rebuild. And that was like year 10. My God, why is it so hard to go undefeated? Lose to 4-6 Fresno State in overtime. And we already got one. It would have been cool to collect them all. It would have been cool to, like, you know, become this juggernaut school of getting elite running backs. They know they come here. It's going to be good for them, but damn Penn State. Close of the rest of the regular season with wins, and we're back in the Mountain West Championship, where if we win this one, it's off to the Big 12. And we get the job done. I don't want to be sour grapes. I'm not going to say that I'm annoyed that we won, but the path to the college football playoff just got that much harder, because Mountain West gets an automatic bid. We are kicking the shit out of these teams in the Mountain West. If we stayed here for the whole rebuild, we might say there's a mulligan in there, mulligan or 2. But we're probably getting that many more swings at the college football playoff automatic bid. Now they're moving to the Big 12. We're going to go from easily the best team to, I mean, our team's really good, but we're going to be like in a dogfight top 5 type situation. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think this challenge through. Or maybe I did, because that makes this rebuild a lot more harder. Because as long as we stay in the Mountain West, I think the easier it's going to be that we're going to go on and win a natty. Brady continues to be sensational in the Mountain West Championship, 300 yards, 5 touchdowns, no turnovers. As we finish the regular season 12-1, a garbage performance gets Fresno State away from a perfect regular season, but we establish our dominance in this, a very one-sided ass-kicking. 5 touchdowns there. Smith goes for 100 yards. Armstrong, 100 yards and a tutty. Spread the love around. Defensively, Carroll, 2 sacks, sack for Nix. And it wasn't even competitive. Nice, first award, we get Kicker of the Year. We also get, I assume this is the Remington, Miles Glover, which hopefully can help boost another player's potential stock of going in the first round. I don't know the actual name of the best DB award. Wasn't it a Raider? Named after a Raider? Either way, Kyron Moore, who actually, I moved from safety to corner to be a nickel. He played nickel either way. 6 picks, 1 pick 6. Congrats to him. We're getting all the hardware here. And just taking on juggernauts, the college football playoff, another year. And we got the number 3 USC Trojans. Well, that's, again, you want to talk about bad defenses. Let's put up a 40 bomb here. 50 bomb, maybe even a 60 bomb. They're that bad. And even though we had an outstanding performance by Tuffy Armstrong, 10 catches, $133, and 3 tutties, we lose a close one. 35-30 to USC. And again, we're only in year 3 of this rebuild. So we're ahead of schedule. Even though we've had a lot of success, I wasn't expecting to compete with the big boys, until at least the back end, year 5, 6, 7. So, we got a lot of experience, which is good. We've been growing our coach and our tree, and so that once, we're finally where we need to be as a full squad, I think we're going to be in a great spot. But unfortunately, just don't have enough juice, I don't think, to beat these 5-star programs yet. Our season stats actually below where they were the last couple years, which is odd. Usually the senior quarterback is, peaking and ready to go. Interception numbers are down, though. Maybe that's what he needed. Maybe the scouts were like, hey, get rid of some of the riskier plays, which might lower touchdowns, and get rid of those turnovers. And that's kind of what he did. No 1,000-yard rusher, which is maybe something we got to get used to. Tuffy Armstrong had a hell of a year. 102 catches, 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns. Jackson with 10. I think we responded nicely, all things considered. Coleman didn't really have as much of an opportunity, but the wide receivers that were on the roster stepped up in a big way. Defensively, we got 77 tackles from Musa, who we convinced to return, which is huge. 8.5 sacks from Young. Sacks are down. But we had the big interception numbers from Kyron Moore, who knows how high he just improved his draft stock. We have 2 players projected to go. One is Lewis, who, in a perfect world, obviously we can get him to come back, but it's also a check mark if he does go in the first round. The only way that would suck is if, okay, we'll try on Harris. And it's extremely low. We might as well just try. Okay, failed. Hopefully he goes first round. We're not getting clickbaited there. Let's go. Glover, who got the Remington Award, first rounder for Lewis as well. No matter what way you cut it, another check mark on our board. We repeat the Carson Wentz success story and get a first rounder out of North Dakota State. And because of that one draft, we get the talent developer tree unlocked in our abilities, which is very important. It's one of the best ones. And I got this one finally early enough that I might actually be able to spend it. I don't have yet to be able to, I think Florida, our very first rebuild, was the only time I ever unlocked it. And even then, I just barely got that year 9, year 8. And, didn't really get to flush that out. So I'm excited to be able to do that here with North Dakota State. Without landing any 5 stars, our class did drop off. I'll be honest, anytime we're top 50, I'm going to be all right for this rebuild. Quickly looking at our dev traits. Got some impacts. We got a star here on Coleman, the linebacker, which is nice. A star here on the corner, the gem, Kaiwanuka. Star on the Doyle, 4-star corner, which is nice. Especially, look at these guys. 400, 600 in the nation. I will take that every day of the week. And we get 1 elite dev trait in the 4-star gem guard, Giovanni Beach. Plus, it's 6'4". That guy could potentially play at tackle if we need to shift him out. Unfortunately, though, nothing else. Let's buy talent developer here. $15 to unlock it. You start getting some and banking some points. But as you can see here, I'm not so worried about tier 1. We've had decent luck in the transfer portal, at least in relation to our school and their grades. But I do think that, tier 3 and tier 4 is definitely where you want to try to get to for all the positions. And my goal is by the end of this rebuild, outside of specialists, we will have talent developer maxed out. Now for that check mark, North Dakota State has been promoted to the Big 12. An initial viewing of our first Big 12 season. Well, I'm very impressed by our team's rating. I'm not so impressed by the fact that we've kind of been stalled on 3.5 stars for our program when getting to 5 is a goal. Schedule is tougher, man. Syracuse was 8-5 last year. That's how we start. We got Houston, who's 8-5, ranked Colorado, West Virginia, Arizona State, who's 8-5, Cincinnati, who's ranked, Utah's good, Iowa State's no pushover, Baylor's not bad. I mean, Arizona's down bad a little bit. Didn't have a great record, but you would assume they're pretty decent. Like, this could be a little rough, especially we got a brand new quarterback and a lot of turnover from our roster. Ooh, and our big potential get in the recruiting class, Matt Bowanko, a top 20 player in the nation, the #1 wide receiver. We're just making his top 10. So we're going to go for it. Get our second 5-star, just making. This is a position need. I really do want to try to infuse and upgrade, especially with the Big 12, the lines of scrimmage. Our offensive line is great. D-line, work in progress, just making the top 10 of Lester Kindred, a 12th player in the nation, second D tackle. Doing our initial scouting. You know what? I'm actually going to pivot off the 5-star. I think the 5-star is going to be able to reach, and the 4-star, that is a little bit higher interest for us. Not that big of a drop-off, honestly. I think we're actually going to jump off our second of 3 5-stars from this initial recruiting class. Bowanko was a bust. Yes, he has 97 speed, 95 agility. The spec catch is solid, but we're going to be in a pissing match with Tennessee, Florida State, and Georgia. It, usually doesn't end out particularly well. And we got Ellington, who's a 4-star, a little bit more manageable. We're in the lead, and the stats are negligible. Spec catch, he's faster. I think we're going to pivot off the 5-star so we can focus more of our resources here. So now we're moving up to the Big 12. It's a time to see where our roster's at. Are they going to be able to handle at least year 1? Is it going to be rough? Transition period from the Mountain West to the Big 12. Our roster rating is still really good. 87 with an 89 offense, 86 defense. Quarterback room, we're going with Marquise Bryant as the starter. And I mean, we definitely have started to hone out a type. But the profile here for the freshman, the only thing against him really is the dev trait. Only an impact dev trait, so that might limit his ceiling a little bit. But as a freshman, 91 throw power, we got 91 agility, 99 change of direction, 88 deep accuracy, 86 short, 87 mid. The throw on the run could get better. Has 92 play action, 88. I mean, this guy here we can move to running back. 88 ball carry, 88 carry, 99 ball carrier vision, 97 speed. That should have a better dev trait, honestly, in this game. With players built like that, it sucks that they're capped. But elite, truly scary potential of Marquise Bryant. He could be the guy that brings us the national championship. We got Duran Diggs, 90. I mean, we got lots of depth there. We are deep at running back, but we don't got a lot of youth. Cornell, former #1 top player in the nation. He is going to kind of be our future at that position. We're good at fullback, at wide receiver. Kayvon Jackson, who's been there, done that, proven player. Tuffy Armstrong as well, coming off a huge year, but not a lot in the pipeline of guys that are ready. Quachia, I think we pronounced it right, had the elite dev trait, so that's going to be good to see how he develops that going forward. But the 3 seniors are going to need to carry the load. Tight end, we're all right. Offensive line, 88 freshman. Devin Gass, the former 5-star. We got a lot of depth across the O-line, 86, 86, 89. A little bit light on the right-hand side, but we'll obviously be able to fix that on the depth chart and kick a left tackle over. We got depth on the defensive line as well. Maybe no elite players, but a bunch of studs. It's not going to be a liability. Linebacking core is weak. That's something that I personally don't recruit the best. I don't want to say that I usually end up forgetting them, but not my strongest unit. And hell, even our best linebacker is not really a perfect scheme fit for us. Corner room, secondary, safeties are good. Corners themselves could be an issue. Hopefully, we got the offense that if a lot of these games turn to shootouts, we'll be able to keep up. And there you have it. First game. Welcome. They're not even in the Big 12, but welcome to the Big Boy Conference. Wow. I mean, we know the elite, almost borderline unlimited potential of the quarterback, but a freshman's going to be a freshman. All right, the bad news. Corners and linebackers are probably the 2 positions that I struggle to recruit the most. I mean, we get 3 guys locked in now. Top wide receiver target, a gem on the offensive line. But we lose, razor-thin margins, the 5-star D tackle Kindred to LSU. That's the bad news. The good news is potentially, like their in real life matchup upcoming this season in college football, we handle Colorado 42-20. I'm here for I like Colorado. I know a lot of people are anti-Dion, anti-Shador. I do like, I root for Colorado, but I do also embrace the chaos of North Dakota State beating them. And we are able to handle them. 4 touchdowns for Bryant, so he's starting to get into a rhythm, a lot more comfortable than he was in the opener against Syracuse. Offense is rocking and rolling on all cylinders. Defense, we're getting pressure. We're forcing turnovers. Life is good. Oh, let's go. #1 team in the nation, even with the Syracuse loss. The schedule gets grindy, man. Win at the time over ranked Arizona State. Utah's going to be tough. Iowa State's going to be tough. I mean, all those games. UMass is probably the only one you want to chalk up as a dub. But we got the #1 spot and a path to definitely hold on to it. A little worried about Utah, but you know it wasn't. Josh Haggett's 3 sacks, 3 TFLs on 6 tackles as we bump Utah. And it was a total team effort as Marquise Bryant, the freshman, with a 4 touchdown, no interception performance as well. And our push to finish the rest of the season, undefeated, Tuffy Armstrong in a game against Baylor, 4 catches, $147, hat trick of touchdowns, helps the win streak stay alive. I guess it's better than losing to UMass. 1-point loss to then 4-6 Arizona. I'm starting to know, I mean, it's John Madden analysis, but our losses in the sim tend to happen with very slow first starts in the first half. So while the losses were annoying, it's the North Dakota State match. Chris Kleiman, I believe, is, I could just Google it. I think that's it. I'm going to gamble that's what it is. The former North Dakota State head coach against North Dakota State. Our first year in the Big 12. We're in the championship. I'm sure there's no way the Super Sim lets me down here. We are going to handle business and bring our pedigree of Mountain West titles and prove that Mountain West, Big 12, it does not matter. K-State, though, starts piling on a lead, and it's your classic slow start from North Dakota State. I'm going to act like this is ridiculous. K-State is 11-1, so they are also equally very good, and I know they're good. I've done enough sims already to know that K-State is one of the probably a top 10 sim team in college football 25, and Chris Kleiman got them ready, man. That is humbling. Big 12 felt pretty easy, and then we got knocked down a peg, but we'll be back. I mean, that's why we lost to K-State. Blake Barnett. Why does that name sound familiar? I already know someone probably like, I know that guy. He wins the Heisman, so K-State got a dog. But it was a quality loss to K-State, so we still make the college football playoffs, and we get a revenge to our opening loss of the season to Syracuse. So that's a great opportunity for our guys. We got a nice chunk of coach credits here to spend, and I'm going to just work, in terms of talent developer, on the 2 positions that I cannot recruit. So that's where I got to maximize what seems to be pretty much 3 and low 4 stars I can bring in. That is DB and linebacker. So we are going to try and work our way down here. Let's go, baby. Avenge the loss to Syracuse. I like the mental toughness to do that. And who else? For the Syracuse game, definitely exercise some demons. 48-17, not even competitive, as the freshman quarterback continues to prove that when he is on, he is as good as any young quarterback in the nation. Defensively, we put him under pressure. Whoever him is, they, them, under center, don't matter. We hitting them. And now it's time. We avenged this loss. Now let's go shock the world versus K-State and their Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. There's no way the Super Sim lets us down twice. And we will truly play the moments in this one. If it gets itself open to an opportunity for us, we will definitely hop in on the sticks. Trading field goals. First touchdown goes to North Dakota State. Defense on full force here in the first half. Second touchdown goes to K-State. We are tied at 10, but North Dakota gets 1 before half, gets 2 before half. We're up 14 points on the #1 team in the nation. Midway through the third, K-State ties it up. We can go ahead. We are just trading touchdowns, 31-31. Let's hop in here and try not to screw this up. Let's go, baby. Right behind the wall. That's why you invest in the offensive line. We have easily one of the best offensive lines already in the Big 12. Not a lot of teams that jump from the Mountain West can say that. And maybe, just maybe, they did enough. It ain't done yet. It's an upset. It's a revenge. But we can't get too high off this one, even though we wanna. Because there's still more work to do. But what a victory. Statement victory for the freshman. I think this is going to be one of those games that potentially could propel Bryant to that next level, to upgrade that skill cap, if you will. What a win for the squad. Amare Carroll, 2 sacks and a forced fumble, gets Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week overall. And who do we got up? What? Temple? I mean, with all due respect, Temple's pretty high up on my next to rebuild because obviously Philadelphia, they play at the link. The hell's going on with Temple? Gotta sneak a peek here. Clay Adams at quarterback, 38 touchdowns. Okay. Ran the ball well. Again, I mean, they got a good offense. They're making the most of their talent, I guess to say it politely. They got a nice pass rusher here in Hugh Yang. I mean, we should smoke them. I will say this, because this is 100% the game. Oh, yeah, of course, we're going to F this up and lose to Temple. This is as good of a way to get to the college football playoff final as you're going to get probably for the remainder 6 seasons that we have here. So let's not mess this up. Understand that our team's young, but there's not one aspect of this Temple squad that should give us issues. So we strike first. Here I thought, though, we'd be the Cinderella team eventually. And here you got Temple. But we're handling business. Temple does get a touchdown. That is, they're right there. 2 quick scores under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Very annoying. But luckily, what has been kind of our Achilles heel in this rebuild, in these bad sim performances, has been slow first halves. We did not start slow. And while there were some ugly moments, convincing win. 45-28. And the North Dakota State Bison are in the college football playoff final. What a performance here today we have. Through the quarterback, 4 touchdowns from Bryant. When he's on, it feels like he's at least getting 4 touchdowns. That is his floor. Big-time performance from Tuffy Armstrong. Great name, 172 yards, 2 touchdowns. Defensively, only 1 sack, but it's the turnovers that you don't need when you need them the most. Right? We've had low interception numbers. I've kind of complained about it, but when we need big-time performances, we get 2 turnovers. We get Tuffy Armstrong getting player of the week offensively. And the matchup has been set. North Dakota State, North Carolina, national championship. Gotta play it, man. I gotta play it. And that's actually probably putting my team in a worse position, unfortunately. I mean, North Carolina, too, worth checking out because they are certainly another team. I'm very interested in rebuilding, try to get them back to maybe where they belong. They got 42 touchdowns from the quarterback, Isaac Quincy, only a junior, so he could run it back. Rushing offense, not terrifying, but look, they got 3 legit receivers here, Freeman Green and Alex Taylor. Defensively, they don't quite got a Julius Peppers, but they got Colin Coates, the D tackle, with 12.5 sacks. 4 picks from Sam Barnes, the sophomore. So he's one of the better young DBs in the nation. It's going to be a tough one, man, but what better time, especially after an Army rebuild where we got no natties, get it done early in year 4. All right, this is the biggest game I've played to date in college football 25. National championship on the line. Year 4 with North Dakota State. After jumping from the FCS, we get an absolute lottery roll of having to beat Temple, the actual Cinderellas of this playoff, to make it to the finals. We take on North Carolina, who is not a bad team, but to a man is not as strong as our team. So that means this game is going to come down to this thing, not... Oh, big head. Oh, now we're not tracking at home the fact that I've had 2 game plays in this rebuild. They both have been losses. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to worry about that. There we go, baby. Get that gimmicky shit out of here. Now, one of the broken things in this game that we are desperately awaiting a patch for. Pretty much control the two gunners and just always pull them back. Because if not, they're going to rough the kicker and give them a first down. It happens 85% of the time. Some blocks. Give me some beautiful blocks. Oh, let's break a couple ankles. Throw a stiff arm. A little bit of a beast quit. And that might be roughing the passer. And it is 15 added to it. Let's go. Look at the freaking speed. We got Lamar Jackson back there. So, yeah, we're going to run him into the ground. This ball ain't going in the air. I'm not throwing 4 picks again. You know, rebuilds don't have a whole lot of gameplay. So this is when I get ready. This is where I put the hours in. And I got to figure out. It feels like it's not a D-line game. Feels like I'm going to have to be linebacker. Maybe the occasional, you know, nickel blitzer. Maybe that's what I run a lot. And that is a concentration drop on the biggest stage. You can't have that. B angle. Diggs at the backfield. We got options. Watch that tight end. One of them's going to be open. Let's go. Watch that linebacker. Oh, my God. We should have just fed it. Absolutely. We have a very good kicker. That was good. That felt like we hit good power, good angle. Well, that's why you don't put an edge rusher in coverage against a very good tight end, I guess. Oh, there we go. A little bit of separation. And Dynasty! Big run. Needed that, man. We get the ball to start the second half. Get points here. We're fine. Dynasty, get all the most, just the terrible tackling on both sides of the football. At least it's equal. Well, that's the best thing about our offense, man. We got this gimmicky flex bone. We win games like the Carolina Panthers did, like the year they went with Cam Newton in the Super Bowl, right? We get the ball, and you're not seeing it until we're done with it. You know what I'm saying? We'll have the ball for the whole quarter. I'll run it. First, second, third down. Move the chains. Hit you with the splash play when need be. Look, we got the running back here. Boom. So we know Big Can's working. QB, let's keep feeding it. Oh, the fake, and they bite on it. Let's go. If we were simming this out, I'd be terrified. I trust myself enough to take control of this defense and secure the bag. Oh, my God. My bad. That would look like one of those, you ever have a Crazy Daisy? We hook that sucker up to the hose, and it goes like this, it's like a sprinkler. That's what my goddamn kicking meter was. Crazy Daisy. Oh, this is let them back in at defense. Oh, what? Let's go. Thank you. Thank you for the assist, quarterback. Throws it right into the gullet. You can't believe it. He's calling for PI. Could be a dagger, man. We can put a drive here together. It's over. Year 4 natties. Van Tree Stanford. The freshman. Jumps the route. Four years. Took me 4 years to win a national championship with North Dakota State. What's their holdup? Join the FBS. It's this easy. You just gotta beat Temple to get to the final game. Let's go, man. That is a check mark. Not the... Don't put it up yet. Let's enjoy the green and gold confetti falling from the rafters. We're not done, man. We still got 6 more years. The challenges aren't done. We have to make this now into a 5. This win should help us in our prestige. We got to achieve max prestige rank for North Dakota State. And that quarterback that got player of the game in the national championship, he's a freshman. He ain't going nowhere. We might have Heisman potential right there. We've seen that this North Dakota State offense can facilitate 40-plus touchdowns. I didn't screw it up either. I'm shocked as anybody. We were 0-2 and looked terrible 2 games earlier in this rebuild. But when it mattered most, our 14-3 Bison, now members of the Big 12, seal the deal against North Carolina. They could not stop the run. Check mark, please. What? We go up half a star for winning the Natty? And we lose pro potential? Come on. Final season stats, obviously inflated by the fact we went on a long playoff run, but Marquise Bryant, 4,100 yards through the air, 46 touchdowns, 6 picks. I will be shocked before he leaves for the NFL. He does not win a Heisman for the Bison. He also chipped in another 700 yards and 7 touchdowns. We got 12-8 from Duran Diggs, great power back. 11-15 from Tuffy Armstrong. 10-10 from Kayvon Jackson, who's had a hell of a career for us. Tight end did a good job. Mosley, I mean, but look, that's a lot of production that's leaving. All seniors, we need guys to step up. Defensively, over 100 tackles for Hales and Nix. Nix is returning 8 TFLs, 3 sacks, 2 picks. Stud. We had 12 sacks, 17 TFLs for Josh Higgins, who got Defensive Player of the Week in that national championship game with 2 TFLs. 21 TFLs, 10 sacks from John Tavis Marshall, 11-5.5. But again, all seniors. So it is going to be difficult. Luckily, our leading interception getter, Antoine Crumpler with 5 picks, is returning. Same with Garrison. So our DB room looks great, but our pass rush, receivers, running back, all is going to be turning over this offseason. And I don't want this to be the only natty we win. Now it's time to get 2 and 3, etc., etc. I said 2 players surprisingly to the league. Tuffy Armstrong, 7th rounder, 2nd round for Duran Diggs. Wow, that's I mean, we didn't get any 5. I felt real good about that recruiting class. 10 4-stars, 9 3-stars. More 4-stars than pretty much everybody in the 20s. Huh. See if the depth traits are any better. No, oh my God. Couple normals, couple stars. Ellington like that being a star. Star on low, the safety. Elite, let's go. 4-star Terrell Bridges. 6'6", 248. That's a win. Simon Hook. We got 2 freaks. 6'6", 286. Give him the elite dev trait. Oh my God. Sam Huff, 3-star with an elite. Gem. Lutman, elite. At the corner spot. That has been our most difficult spot recruiting. Oh, yeah, baby. The rich get richer. And a humble recruiting class, I'm going to be honest with you, not a lot of 5s. Not one, actually. I'm going all the way down, but we do have a great opportunity to top 10 player at a position that we've struggled to recruit at, and that is Bryce Lane, the number 2 corner, top 10 player in the nation. We're in his top 5. I'll take that back. We get another 5-star in Tut at safety. Oh, yeah, baby. 5-star, bust. 5-star, bust. Oh, yeah? As we start year 5 to defend our national title, we're not disrespected. We start as the preseason ranked number 1 team in the nation. Honestly, I feel great about the roster. Developed nicely, even with the, I would say, somewhat limited skill cap that these players seem to be hitting. Gash is up as a sophomore to a 92. We have Whipple 90. Jules got to step up as our big-time wide receiver as we're losing our 3 top leading receivers. 90 overall, 6 feet tall, 96 speed, 96 acceleration. He is very, very quick. We got Cornell in the backfield, the former 5-star, number 1 player in the nation. Kind of a role player. Now he is the guy, hopefully for junior and senior seasons. Our pass rush was another area of concern in terms of just guys leaving it to the league. And it's solid. I mean, the D-line is solid. Seniors, veteran leadership, maybe not a whole lot of crazy upside. John Obi was a starter last year, 87. He returns. Ambrose is going to have to step up. A little concerned about it, but I mean, the offense is going to be great. We have so much depth on the offensive line. Almost everybody is 85 plus. Receivers, not brutal. Top heavy. Quashia, the elite dev, another guy, sophomore. Big opportunity for him to start. We got lots of speed at the position. Dolgala with 97 speed. 95 for Baggett. 95 for Adenijai, who had that huge catch and run in the national championship game. 98 down there for Ellington. The wide. Oh, ooh. A big get from last year's recruiting class. But the big question is at quarterback. How good would Marquise Bryant get? What kind of development would we see out of him? I don't want to say it's impossible, but maybe I'm just missing. Is there a way to grow depth trait in this game like there is in Madden? I can't. I don't want to say for sure there's not. But, I mean, how much more does this guy need to do to go up a dev trait? Won the Natty, 40 bomb. We got 96 throw power, 91 agility, 99 change of direction, 88 deep throw. I mean, actually needs to work on it, man. The skill cap there, we're feeling it. But it looks like there's still definitely some room to grow there a little bit as far as a passer is concerned. But big year. We're looking for the Heisman. We're looking to repeat as Natty champions. Looking at our schedule, we got a tune-up against FCS Northwest, which is anything but a tune-up. We get the national championship game rematch against number 3 North Carolina. We get ranked Kansas out of the bye. Colorado, Notre Dame, Utah. Some tough matchups this year. But that is going to be a huge game week 2. And North Carolina couldn't hold their end of the bargain up as they lose week 1. But still, let's hop in and see what happens in this revenge game. I think we got them beat by talent. They lost more guys than we did to the league. But they got the motivation because we embarrassed them. Let's see. Sloppy first game. Trading field goals in the first quarter. Second quarter. First touchdown goes to North Dakota State. But it's one of those games. Anything we do, they seem to respond. Can we do it when it's inverse? When they score first, can we go down the field and respond? We do, but it's only a field goal. We need touchdowns in this matchup here, fellas. Jesus Christ. Oh! I mean, it's still not over. There's been burned before. Are you kidding me, man? Let's go same play. Ooh, Dolgala has that speed. He got speed. He fast. Oh my God, we got him on the outside again. This could be enough. And he's got it again. What kind of wheels does 12 have? Running his ass off. Get him the oxygen tank. We would not be denied. Sorry, Talon. 2 straight over North Carolina. Ooh, here we go. 5-star get. A little bit easier to sell the program now that we're defending national champions. That's another huge get, even though he's a bust. 5-star corner, that's a first. I'm glad we got that good news because we get upset on the road at West Virginia. Damn. And we tanked this season, fellas. After that loss, I was like, nah, let's just go right to the end. 7-5. Lost to West Virginia, lost to ranked Notre Dame, Baylor, Arizona, UCF. Jesus Christ. Oh, got to win this bowl game because I feel we don't win this, we might lose a prestige star. And we're only really chasing that 5-star prestige school rating right now. Can't go backwards the year after a national championship. At least we're able to finish the season out on a high note, 8-5, and we win the Guaranteed Rate Bowl with a shutout over San Jose State. But man, oh man, we did lose a lot. We lost pretty much our starting receiving room and our starting pass rush. Tough to replace that in 1 year. Statistically on the year, Marquise Bryant was good. Borderline great, not elite. Couldn't really run the ball. Cornell, the #1 recruit 3 years ago. Honestly, expected a lot more. I thought we were having a lock for 1,000 yards. Receiving, Connor Jewell, the wide receiver, one for 1,100 yards and 9 touchdowns. But again, just a work in progress for the rest of the receivers. I think we'll definitely be better next year. Our pass rush took a gigantic hit, and you know, you can see the difference in just the numbers and totals that were put up. Interception numbers pretty good. Love seeing the freshman Rick Doyle, 84 there with 4 interceptions. Crumpler returned last year, was our leading interception getter. He got 3, but kind of a year to forget right in the middle of this rebuild. Yep. Lost a star rating. It is one, you know, I mean, maybe it imitates real life, right? So what have you done for me lately? It's so much harder to climb up and so easy to fall down. The team that takes our spot as national champions. Wish we could have had an opportunity to defend it, but it goes to the Wisconsin Badgers on a 16-1 season. Hell of a year by them. Had a long list of players that wanted to leave. More was but Hook, Elite Dev, Lutman, Elite Dev, wanted to make sure we had to keep both these guys. Able to get them all to return. Last one up is Cornell, the former #1 overall player. Wants to go to the league, but we say, hey, come back because you only had like 600 yards. And he's smart enough to improve his draft stock for one more year. The state of the ties, man. Not one player sent to the draft. Luckily for us in a down here, we still handle business on the recruiting front with 2 5-stars, 4 4-stars, and a bunch of 3-stars to boost our rating to almost a top 20 class. However, the dev trait, not the best role. We got a star dev outside linebacker, star dev here at running back, Madu. A couple impacts, lots of normals. It's gross. Gross. Used up all their luck last year. For the fallout of training camp, Marquise Bryant gets the last bar that he could potentially unlock before he hits his skill cap to max out his accuracy, which is, you know, considerable. +3 on throw on the run, which was a big aspect of his game that we needed to improve. So happy for that. Our #1 overall recruit, Tim Cornell, up to a 91. We got a great 1-2 punch back there, too, with Enrique Milano, who has 97 speed, brings lots of juice. Jewel, 90, 89, so we got that much more depth at wide receiver than what we lacked last season. The O-line is the best in the nation. We are multiple deep, and I would make the argument if we are talking about things that need to get tuned in an already very hard football game, I do think the transfer portal should be a little more ruthless, because I got a lot of guys that probably would be looking elsewhere for starting jobs, but you can never have enough offensive linemen. Defensive line, I hope the pass rush can get there. We're led on the interior. Frank Togiai, 82 for the freshman. Linebacking core is nothing too crazy, but we do have solid starters. Our secondary provides lots of depth, led by Jose Rosales, the 90 overall senior. And I think 8-5 last year, it's going to be a distant memory. We're going to bring it this year. Get right back on top. Gain back that star that we lost in terms of team prestige. As we start a redemption year in year 6, got a couple 5-stars here on the preseason interest board. We have Austin Durbin, the running back, #5 overall player in the nation, has us as his second school. 5-star wide receiver Gabe Vasquez, #29 in the nation, the second top wide receiver, has us as his second school. We're going to chase some other 4s. And lastly, we have Vinny Daniels. I'm telling you, man, Cooper DeJean has inspired a generation here in college football 25, if you know what I mean. Top 10 player in the nation, #2 corner, has us within his top 10. I look to hopefully jump up a lot here between preseason and week 1. Well, those 5-stars, and they're gone. This is week 3. Second place on Durbin, commits to Oregon. Second place on Vasquez, the wide receiver, commits to South Carolina. Needed them both. About 1 for 3 for your 5-stars ain't the end of the world, I'll be honest. Out of the running back, wide receiver, and corner would have been my top priority, so happy that we're able to lay in Vinny Daniels. We're off to a great start. 4-0 undefeated, back up in the rankings, so hopefully last year's 8-5 abysmal year is a thing of the past. We finished season 11-1. Our one loss came against Kansas, and it wasn't, you know, at least it wasn't a close loss that we could be very, very upset about. Kansas offense operated perfectly. We had the turnover, which oftentimes in close matchups can be the difference, but 11-1 is the kind of response I want to see after a down year. We got a battle of 11-1s in the Big 12 championship here in year number 6. Oh yeah, man, we needed that. Where did this come from? Marquise Bryant wins the Heisman. 4,200 yards, 40. I just got the Xbox achievement. This is the first Heisman we've had. We got one in the Florida rebuild. That was obviously on the beta build. Our first true Heisman goes in the North Dakota State rebuild. 44 touchdowns, 7 picks. Congratulations. Should have made that a goal. He's able to beat the Middle Tennessee State wide receiver, and they're ranked right now. A couple wideouts there. Middle Tennessee State is a juggernaut. That is a team we do not want to see in the college football playoff, I'll tell you that. Marquise Bryant, 4,200 yards, 44 touchdowns, 7 picks. Also had 600 yards on the ground and another 7 touchdowns. So over 50, that certainly puts you in the discussion every single year. And hopefully returns for a senior year. Rashia also crushed. I mean, someone has to be catching all them balls. 72 catches, 1,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, averaging 115 a game and counting for this playoff run. Our Big 12 was a high-scoring affair. 42 points for the good guys. As you saw, Marquise Bryant, 5 touchdowns. Did have 2 picks. Always want to tighten that up a little bit. Cornell was solid. 2 touchdowns for Jewel, 2 for Duval, 1 for Quatia. Defensively, we got some sacks. Got a turnover. Professional victory. And in the quarterfinal of the college football playoff, we get the number 5 Cornhuskers. Our offense prevailed as we win in the quarterfinals 38-13 over Nebraska. Another 4 touchdown performance from our Heisman Trophy winner. But we get to find out what's going on as we take on, in the semifinal, the undefeated number 6 ranked Middle Tennessee State. Their quarterback, Eric Oliveira, has 54 touchdowns. Got a solid running back. Caleb Trinidad with 1,200 yards, 17 touchdowns. Vanover with 1,100 yards, 26 touchdowns. Does their defense at least suck? Nope. 10 sacks, 9 sacks, 8 sacks, 7 sacks. Interceptions are average. Okay. What are they? Am I in someone else's rebuild right now? We'll give them the respect. We'll give them some camera time. I want to see front row. What's going on with this Milt? And if it gets down to a final drive, maybe we help the good old boys out here a little bit. But man, oh man. There's already going to be people calling our titles Mickey Mouse. We had to beat Temple the first time in year 4 when we went on to win the Natty. We beat Temple in the semifinal. How fitting would it be that the next time we go on a final run, it is Middle Tennessee State. But they have a 1-point lead going into the second half. It's low scoring, man. These 2 prolific offenses. We just fucking lost to Middle Tennessee State. Guess there's no shame in that, as Alabama also loses to Middle Tennessee State. And they complete a perfect, undefeated national championship winning season. Suddenly, us winning it in year 4 doesn't seem as impressive. We have a chance with our highest rated player, Devin Gash, the left tackle. He's projected to go in the first round. We might as well at least try. But he is going to go get that generational wealth. Last year we sent no one to the NFL. This year it's back. Jewel, our leading receiver, goes in the 4th round. Cornell, the former number 1 overall recruit, never really popped off for us. He still goes in the 2nd round. Undeniable talent, and Gash is a 1st rounder. We finished with another top 30 recruiting class. 1 5-star, 4 4-stars, couple 3s, and by a lot of 3s and the 2s, we got a couple good 2s in the transfer portal. Dev traits are where it at. We got Redmond in the portal. He is a star dev. We got a star here, Enrico Lamb, the running back. Star in the guard, Larry Toon. Elite dev, Vinny Daniels, the 5-star corner. That is good. If you're going to get a 5-star, he better be legit. Nakamura, the gem pass rusher, pops with a star dev. And we got our gem 3-star guard, Aguilar, with a star as well. To start year 7, our initial recruiter board, nothing better you love seeing than the 5-star quarterback, number 1. Now, please don't be a bust. Look at a recruiting class. Got a couple good 5-stars that have NDSU interest. Obviously, we have the... Let's scout him here. We get some extra points. Don't be a bust. And he's a jab. Oh, we want him. 5-star Bernard Marshall has us as his number 1. We have Gibbs at tackle, who has us at number 7. Coward at DN, who has us number 8. Cockrell at D tackle, the gem, who has us at number 8. And lastly, the 5-star safety Evanson has us as 5. This could potentially shape up to be our best recruiting class of the rebuild here in year 7. Fortunately, the board is starting to settle. Most of the 5-stars look good, but the gem D tackle, which I would probably say after the quarterback would be my 2nd top, we are getting pushed out quick. We need to start freeing up some points so we can start sending in some visits. So unfortunately, we're down to 5. And let's go! 5-star core. Maybe having a QB that can win the Heisman gives us a significant boost in the discussions with landing some of these guys. Because Marshall, he's going to need to be likely the quarterback to close out this rebuild for our squad. And another 5-star in Martin Gibbs on the offensive line. We're up to number 2 in the polls. 5-0 undefeated. Week 7 of year number 7. The bad news is we lost the last remaining 5-star. We targeted 4. 2 of 4 is really, really good. Oh, the last Oak Tree Falls. Ophisa Coward out of New York gives us 3 5s for the class. Shit, to close the year, we go undefeated regular season. And a gigantic matchup against 12th ranked TCU in the Big 12 Championship. And I mean, we just saw Middle Tennessee State go perfect for a national championship. So I suppose if we want to be on their level, we need to equal that. But a monumental task here against TCU, which I'm terrified of the sim that our team's just not going to show up. But undefeated with a reigning defending Heisman Trophy winner should give us as much confidence as you possibly can with the current state of the college football 25 sim. 17-17 going into the 4th quarter. Everything to play for, and the first score goes North Dakota State, but it's settling for a field goal. We get a touchdown. Whoa! Whoa! For those of you that don't know, that is a emergency alert. Holy. It's like a gas leak 100 miles away. And what it actually was letting everyone know we're undefeated. Jesus Christ. Hey, let's go, Tom Savage. Coach of the year, undefeated season. That'll do it. Matt Clements, our DC, gets a DC of the year, coordinator of the year. Both awards, technically. Unfortunately, unable to repeat as Heisman Trophy winners, the sophomore for Auburn, so plenty of football ahead for him. Do want to see if we finish on the short list. We get the Remington winner, Giovanni Beach, our junior. So again, hopefully he returns next season. We get the top center, prioritize the offensive line. That was always how we were going to make this program a juggernaut, and it is paying dividends finally in year number 7. But we didn't even make the short list to repeat as Heisman, which is what it is. Freaking Middle Tennessee State. Hopefully we don't see them in the playoff. They're going to be the last team, the last seed in it. Still great year to Marquince Bryant. 43 touchdowns, 8 picks, 3,500 yards. Threw in another. The rushing numbers were down. That is definitely an obvious area. But, I mean, just one hell of a career, man. I think probably trumps. Definitely trumps in this fictional world what Carson Wentz would probably, or Easton Stick, whoever is regarded as the top North Dakota State quarterback of all time. It is now Marquince Bryant. And we got a running back, K-State, in the first round of the college football playoff. Oh, and we thumped him. Look at that. Dak Yancey. 11 catches, 252 yards. On the webcam, 3 touchdowns. So we move on to take on Duke in the college football playoff semifinal in the Peach Bowl. Oh, we beat Duke. Let's go. Who do we got in the finals? Glenn Rochelle, the senior pass rusher with a sack in a TFL, gets defense, so it's probably wasn't the most standout. Marquince Bryant gets player of the week, 225. So unless he crushed it rushing. Very humble, but we are in the Natty. 3 years after winning it against the 6-seed Ohio State Buckeyes. Man, that was bowl and shoe ugly, as James Ross would say. I mean, we didn't turn the football over. We played a clean offensive game, controlled the clock. Defensively, got the sack, got a turnover, the only turnover. I mean, they're all going to be pretty. Undefeated season stays alive. So here we go, trying to complete our second ever complete undefeated season. We did it way back with our Florida Gators team in our first rebuild. Couldn't do it with Hawaii. I don't even think we got close with Army. But we get a chance. It's only year 7. We still got other years. This is not like a doom or gloom, all or nothing season. As both teams get haymakers landed in the first quarter. Touchdowns apiece. Field goal. We settled for the first field goal, but look at that. We are starting to pile on. But instant touchdown for Ohio State, and we go into halftime up 24-21. Undefeated season on the line, another score, field goal for Ohio State. So in some regard, we score, they score, keeping this game close. And it is a 6-point lead. You know what? Undefeated national championship season. That's clearly like that's the peak of the mountain. I don't want my team achieving that year 7. I feel like I was year 7. Losing it will motivate us more year 8, 9, and 10 than winning it now and then like kind of resting on that season. So I'm going to spin this into a positive. Is we make the whole team sit there and watch this celebration like Stephon Diggs. We got 3 years left. Some of these guys are going to be gone. But as a program, this is the learning moment, teaching moment. That if we have another opportunity at a national championship, our defense doesn't let the entire team's quarterback go off for 5 goddamn touchdowns. A near perfect season, we are now up to 4.5 stars, a half star away from achieving our 5th and final goal of our challenge list. Better stats on a career for Marquise Bryant. 51 touchdowns, 4,600 yards. Rushing offense has never been prolific here, which is surprising because we are trying to... I mean, also, I feel like North Dakota State's always been a team that runs the football well, but, you know, we're Wyoming now. I mean, I guess Wyoming is just that air raid. They throw that goddamn thing. As our receivers go off, but senior, we're looking at Duval, who had 13 touchdowns. He's going to be the big guy next year that we're going to have to count on. Defensively, 97 tackles from Pan, middle linebacker. We got 9 sacks from the senior Liggins. 7 from Coleman, 12 TFLs, 7 sacks from the D tackle, the sophomore Sam Ha, 23 TFLs for us. So we're losing lots of defensive production. Hopefully we can respond. To appreciate the career of Marquise Bryant, 16,000 yards passing, 180 touchdowns, only 32 picks in a 4-year career. He also chipped in 2,400 yards rushing and 19 touchdowns. A legend. But UDFA projection doesn't even get drafted. Heisman Trophy winner. Brutal. He's another running back in the first round. Enrique Milano, shout out to him, the speedster. Really out with a top 20 recruiting class to close out year 7. 3 5 stars, 7 4 stars. It almost always comes down what kind of depth traits. What's under the hood? We did a great job in the transfer portal landing a 4-star junior linebacker who might honestly have a chance to start for us. We had a star dev kicker, elite dev for Ofisa Coward, the pass rusher 5-star. We had impact on Brent's elite on the 5-star Gibbs tackle. That's looking pretty good. Star dev on Hickok, the potentially new starting running back sooner than later. Marshall, the 5-star quarterback. That would have been a perfect elite. Only an impact. So that's not a good role. Not quite. I said I would max out talent developer, but as we reach level 50 with Tom Savage, this is as far as we could make it. But we do get 4 to 4 at least on blocking, DB, LBs, and D-line, which that's where the value is because D-line, you get D tackles and D ends, linebackers, middle, outside, DBs, you get the corner, free safety, strong safety, and obviously left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, right tackle. Coming off a 15-1 season, I thought we might have an opportunity to really have like an S tier, like 8 5s to at least entertain. But we got a couple. Villami Street, the 5-star middle linebacker, 26 in the nation, has us at number 6. Mare, the D-end, has us top 3, and he is the 14th player in the nation and a gem. We have Skaggs, another D-end, who's the 3rd player in the nation. Only a run stopper, not a gem or anything like that, but again, we're going to try. We're going to try to go out and all in and improve the pass rush here with this recruiting class. Now looking at our team, it's tough to replace your Heisman winning quarterback. I think we're built well. Secondary, very strong. A lot of depths. Maybe not an X tier lockdown corner, but we are very, very deep. We're going to have a healthy rotation. We're always going to be fresh. Linebacking core is solid, led by Addison Pan, the 93 overall pass cover linebacker, projected first-round pick. D-line, a lot of depth. 6 guys, all above 80. The pass rush might not have that S-tier prolific guy, but Bridges is going to step up. expectations are very high. Offensive line, 84, 91, 85, 84, 88, and outstanding depth. We have the best offensive line, I like to think, in the nation. Ellington at wide receiver, 94 overall. Leads a solid group. Not a lot of depth behind him, but, you know, Toon, you know, these guys have decent depth traits, so they're not quite at their ceiling yet. But Ellington, the junior, can truly be special. The star dev, former 4-star. I remember, too, when we got him, we pivoted off a 5. We said, this guy's just as good as a 5, and he has proven it here. 95 release, 99 catching, 99 spec, 95 catching traffic, 93 overall elusiveness. His IQ is smart. He brings 98 speed, 96 acceleration. An absolute freak. Our run game, well, we just sent another first-round running back to the league. It's been 2 straight years of doing that, so that is where a little bit of drop-off is happening. But we've never really ran the football well in this rebuild, so I don't think it's going to hinder the offense. But the big change is under center. Trying to find the right quarterback. Marshall is the 5-star recruit that we have coming in. We have Sharif Moore, the veteran. And it's like, do we go with the veteran who's been here, done that, but he's a normal? Or, well, the dev trait's not a lot better. Do we go with the 5-star? And I'm thinking there may be some growing pains. It might cost us a little bit here, year 8, truly being contenders. I don't think it will be bad. I don't think we'll sabotage the season. I think we're right in the hunt for the Big 12. But maybe we just take the growing pains of the freshmen so that we suffer now, year 8, so that year 9 will be a little bit better, and maybe we're peaking right again at year 10 to make another run at a natty. Locking a 5-star early in Matthew Mayer, who was arguably the best of the bunch. We're able to completely revamp our pass rush, bringing in on the other side, Skaggs, another 5-star pass rusher. Unfortunately, we missed out with Street, which would have been great to get the complete sweep hat trick of 5s, but our initial pool of 8 is as good as any core 8 as you're going to start with. And I thought this would get like redundant if we're doing it in the Mountain West. But the fact that we're able to move to the Big 12 and get another undefeated regular season, 12-0. And these were battles. Baylor was close. Iowa State was a 1-score game. West Virginia was a 1-score game. Kansas was a 1-score game. But it puts us back in the Big 12 championship against 8-4 Texas Tech. And it's not like NCAA Football 14, where if you don't have that S-tier quarterback, you're not going to win. We have the stacked team, question marks, really in the backfield between the quarterback and the running back, still able to go on and play at a high level and go undefeated and win the Big 12 again. Wasn't a crazy flex type game, but 23-17 is professional enough to get the job done. I will say, though, quarterback's inexperience scares me a little bit for this playoff run. It is back-to-back Coach of the Year awards for Tom Savage. Last year was our DC. This year, offensive coordinator Joel Fitzpatrick gets the Coordinator of the Year. Braden Cleveland gets the Butkus Award for Linebacker of the Year. Got to have some sack numbers we're not seeing. I mean, the coordinator made sense. These are just regular season stats. 42 touchdowns for a true freshman quarterback that we had a lot of questions about is outstanding. But for the Butkus winner, it's the interceptions. 5 picks for Braden Cleveland. Let's go. The first round of the playoffs, we get the number 10 ranked Duke Blue Devils. And honestly, like a fly on a windshield, Duke just got in our way. 41-20, wasn't even competitive. Forced 3 interceptions on their quarterback. And our freshman, who were worried about his experience, clean as can be. Togiai at D-tackle with the hat trick. And our back 7 with the hat trick. Unfortunately, the semifinal was, it was a step back here. I knew we were going to take a slight step back, still undefeated regular season, still are able to win the Big 12. But unfortunately, Stanford just had a little more juice, and it wasn't even on the quarterback. I can't even throw him under the bus as the reason why we lost. I mean, when you got a guy named Eric Chocolatey, you don't take them seriously. And they just said, all right, we got Chocolatey, we got Shidu. And that's an explosive offense. Still not 5-star percent. I think we're going to have to win another natty to get that last challenge done. I don't think any amount of Big 12s or wins is going to achieve that last half-star that we're chasing. I could be wrong, but I think we need to win another natty. Quick look at our final season stats. 48 touchdowns for Bernard Marshall, the freshman Lamb, with 12 rushing touchdowns, the sophomore. Hopefully that helps his skill cap and development this offseason. Ellington, who had all the hype in the world, wide out, played well. 1,200 yards with 12 touchdowns. But as Duval, the senior, 19 touchdowns out of the slot for the big 6'5" target. That is an insane season. Best linebacker in the freaking nation. Cleveland here with 90 tackles, 4 TFLs, 2 sacks, 6 picks. We got 15.5 from Togiai, the junior. Hopefully will return. 9.5 from the junior Sam Ha, who will return. 4 picks from Lane, the sophomore. So that's, we'll take that. A lot of these big time numbers are coming back next year for year 9. And appreciate Oklahoma. You know, old Big 12 handling business and avenging new Big 12, beating up those nerds. All right, that's a bummer. Ellington, the top wide receiver, no chance of persuading him. And then we have Coward, our elite dev, just buried on the depth chart. 5-star. Brutal. But at least Ellington got great info from his agent. Does go in the first round. Send Pan in the second round. Best of luck. Our best recruiting class yet. Quality over quantity, only 18 total targets. Actually, shout out to Stanford. That's the lowest number I've seen in the top 20 in a while. That's not us. But we get 2 5-stars, 11 4-stars. Hopefully a couple of these guys have that elite dev trait to make up for our big 5-star gem elite dev trait player, the D tackle, leaving in the portal year 1. So we get Crow, the 4-star gem safety with an elite dev. Cave, the 4-star linebacker with an elite dev. Mare is elite. Let's go. Skaggs is impact. And I think we might need to almost make a point. Unless the rating's too far off. Just get Mare on the field so he doesn't want to be like a one-and-done transfer portal target. We got Cabrera, who we got in the transfer portal with an elite dev trait. Those are rare. Let's go. This is our final recruiting class. I'm just going big, man. If you are not, we have one, just kind of need a little bit of a speed running back. If you are not at least a 4-star gem or 5-star, I need you to be have a chance potentially to contribute as a true freshman just for year 10. So we're going with a smaller class with guys that could potentially start versus, you know, trying to pad our class with 35 targets to try to chase the #1 overall recruiting class in the nation. Got a couple 5-stars too. Eddie Smoker, we're on his second team. We have the corner Malik, who we are #1 recruit. We have Troop, the D tackle, 5-star. We're #1. Gadash at D end. We're #2. Scales, the tight end. We're #1. So a great opportunity to land a couple 5s. Winner squad as we go to year 9. Very good. 91 overall as we try to chase the 5-star prestige. We have Mitch Aguilar here at tackle. He's up to a 91 as a sophomore. So how much more skill cap he has to go? He could end up being like our highest rated player for a 3-star. He can only go up one more bar in footwork, so that probably is going to make him like a 92, 93. Not bad for a 3-star. Don't sleep on the 3-stars. But we feel pretty good. Togiai is coming back. Big time pass rush. I mean, I really love our interior pass rush. Our D tackles are absolute filth. Our quarterback thrived last year as a true freshman, so I'm expecting more of the same. We got more juice in the backfield than we had a year ago. Definitely a step back in the wide receiver room. Don't have that 90-plus go-to target. But I think with the offensive line, the way that it is built, our quarterback's going to have plenty of time to not turn the ball over, play safe football, let the defense do it. We're going to win old school. That's the way I'm putting it here in year 9. And we finish year 9 with a 10-2 record, so it ends our streak of 2 straight undefeated seasons, but we're back in the Big 12 championship, win, and we're in and secure the college football playoff run. The losses came to 6-6 Cincinnati, and Dion and his 6-6 Buffs. But we're able to win our 4th straight Big 12 in an absolute shootout. Propels us up to the #9 spot, which locks us into the college football playoff, 38-35, on the back of a 5-touchdown performance from Bernard Marshall. 2 tutties from Toon. Sanders had 2. Defense played well. We got some sacks. We forced a turnover. And we got a lot of momentum. Even though we had 2 L's, that is a big win to carry into the playoffs. And we're locked in against Tennessee, the #2 ranked team in the nation in the quarterfinals. But it don't matter, baby. #2 in the nation don't care. We'll win ugly 24-20. You know what? We'll run the gauntlet. We'll take on the #1 team, Penn State, 13-1, to make it to another finals. We'll take down 2-1. We'll beat everybody. Who's next? #3 Notre Dame was still there. We'll beat all of them. The true gauntlet. I don't know. What were we? The 6, 7, 8, 9? We will beat 1. We will beat 2. We will beat 3. And be undisputably the best team in the nation here in year 9. Put up a great showing offensively against Penn State, 38-28. Marshall, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Able to rely on the run game a little bit with 3 total rushing touchdowns. Rico Lamb had Offensive Player of the Week. Ramsey, the sophomore, over 100 yards, which is great confidence boost for him. Togiai with a sack and 2 interceptions on the day. That sets up the national championship game with surely our 5-star school prestige on the line if we can take down the 14-1 Fighting Irish. Sorry, Shane Gillis. Got to do what I got to do. Let's go, baby. 3rd national championship game appearance. We're 1-1. Let's get ourselves that positive kill-death ratio. And we start scoring first with a field goal. Defense playing well. 2 straight field goals, and that's the problem with 2 straight field goals. It's 1 touchdown. John Madden Mass. We're going back and forth. I don't like how neither team's kind of taking a stronghold of it. And usually when that's the case, that's when the other team scores a lot in the 4th quarter, and we don't really have much of a chance. 23-23 with a minute to go. Oh, I gotta go for this. We got no timeouts left. Need to get into field goal range. Ideally, we could find a way to win this. And we just step into a sack. I had no... That is terrible pocket awareness by Marshall. Sophomore, still a young player, but you can't walk into a sack. Multiple times this pass rush, but they... Oh my God, how do you miss that? That was field goal range. 3rd and 15. Don't need to get it all on one play. Great grab, get out of bounds. And we, at worst, can take a long field goal. But the clock is stopped with 36 seconds. North Dakota State looking for their 2nd national championship. That out quick to the tight end. We don't have... Oh, hits the spin move. We don't have any timeouts, but the clock stops on a 1st down. Baby, that you can't ask for a better look. That I don't know what they're doing with their safeties. We just need 1 wide receiver to win. Oh my God! Run, run! Let's go! Broke play. Where were the safeties on that? There's still time, but I think the sophomore 5-star just got us our 2nd national champion. Oh, this controller was going in the wall. This beautiful pink controller that my daughter picked out was going through a wall if we choked that. But North Dakota State, year 4, shockingly, won the national championship only 4 years after making the jump from FCS. I thought there was a chance we get all-time success in this rebuild. Multiple natties. 4 or 5. You know, become the next Nick Saban. It took us all the way to year 9 to get number 2. But it doesn't taste any less sweet. And I hope with that we can get our last check mark and become a 5-star prestige program. Sophomore Bernard Marshall, 3 touchdowns. That huge run when Notre Dame sold out to stop the pass. I mean, he's not a true dual threat. So that's the only thing that I'm kind of thinking there. But that was an outstanding ice in your veins type drive. Let's go, baby. Dude, how are we still not 5 stars? Is this glitched? Got 2 natties and like 40, 50 wins in the last 4 years. We obviously went for quality over quantity with our final class. Let's just see if we got any elites. We did with the 5-star D-tackle Trey Trout. We did with the 4-star linebacker Kara Padius. And Rhodes with the elite. Did miss out on Malik, the 5-star corner late, which is a bummer, but can't get everybody. Here's our squad as we go to year 10, chasing what almost feels like an impossible 5-star prestige for our program. Feel real good. Marshall, I mean, we're coming off a national championship. Probably disrespectful that we're not outright the #1 team returning in the nation. But Marshall has been elite, and he's only going to get that much better. We have double-headed attack in the backfield. Fullbacks are back on top. Morris Ramsey, who had really good production last year as a sophomore, steps up, has huge training camp for the big 98 speed, 6'4" wideout. Going to be our go-to. A lot of speed here at that wide receiver spot. Not so much a tight end. You know what, honestly, just block, fellas. O-line, 91, 89, 88, 89, 87 across the board. One of the best offensive lines in the nation. I'm going to start with Mare. So that is a true freshman. The elite dev trait. Let's see what the kid can do. We got Skaggs. The other freshman had a elite training camp. going from 80 up to an 88. I have not seen a freshman pop up that much. And he only had, like, impact? Maybe star dev? It definitely wasn't elite. So that was a gigantic role, which gives us arguably the best defensive line in all of college football. Our linebacking core is the best that it's been throughout any of the 10 years. I think the same can be said for our secondary. We have great depth, absolutely stacked at every single position. The Brian Crow, the safety with 95 speed. I wish we could see his career kind of flourish out. But I think we absolutely are in a great position to repeat as national champions. But I think we'll probably be the only shot that we can get at getting that 5-star school prestige. We finish year 10 with a 10-2 record. Gonna have to go into West Virginia to win the Big 12 to have a chance at a college football playoff run. Couple L's, man, that you just can't take. 3-9 Baylor week 10, 5-7 Colorado week 11. Luckily, we were able to knock off West Virginia on the back of an insane performance by Dion Lyle. 4 sacks and a TFL, as it wasn't even particularly competitive. 41-14 to the good guys. All right, here we go as the last seed in the playoff. Can we go on a run to give us a chance at 5-star prestige? It starts first against number 9 Ohio State. We just didn't have the juice this year. 41-21. We'll sim to the end of the year. Maybe there's a chance that we get it somehow, some way, but I don't think we're getting our last goal here. Not a great performance from Marshall. Probably the worst game I've seen him have in a sim. What the truth did we get? Damn it. We'll take the L on that one. Overall, like, that's just, the challenges don't determine if it goes down as a successful rebuild. It's just, you know, in rebuilds like this where we win a lot more ahead of schedule, it's like the extra, you know, you already got your natty early. What do you have left to play for the last 6 years? And man, oh man, they go from 1 star to 5. Very difficult. Ultimately, I think this goes down as a very successful rebuild. We won multiple Mountain West. We started in the Mountain West, went to the Big 12, won the Big 12 a bunch of times, got 2 national champions, had a Heisman Trophy winner, maxed out our coaching tree as much as we possibly could. I think you're probably not going to find a better North Dakota State rebuild, in my humble opinion. So with that being said, fellas, if it is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. We are working our way up, 170,000 subscribers, with the big goal here during College Football 25, Madden 25 season, trying to see if there's a chance. Can we even get within reaching distance of 200,000 subscribers on the channel? Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video and enjoyed the series and content for the YouTube robots. Make sure you let me know in the comment section below which school we should rebuild next. And until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out. Love ya. Have a good one.